All right, live from Yevla. This is ManDate. We have a very special guest here, James with Timberline, about to help me be my first participant with the MBA research on small business growth. James, how are you?
Good, Connor. How are you? Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. You got your green on and everything.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for coming on the show and helping us out with the research. I know you probably rather be out drinking, but you're here and you're ready to talk some business.
absolutely.
All right, so our research, MBA research, is focusing on small businesses and specifically their managerial strategies and how the strategies that they choose to want to grow their small business. So the first question I'm going to ask you, James, is if you give us a quick rundown of what your small business is and what sort of service or product does it provide.
Yeah, so Timberline Canadian Alpine Academy is a full-service outdoor adventure company based right in Banff National Park in Western Canada. And basically what we do is we will offer a wide range of programs geared towards young people in their late teens to throughout their 20s who are interested in starting a career in the outdoor adventure industry in Western Canada or the United States. So some of our programs include the opportunity for people to come over from Western Europe, from Australia, New Zealand, the States, get a whole bunch of training done early on in the winter season, and then jump right into working as a ski instructor or a ski patroller in some cases. Throughout the season, we also have all kinds of different skills training courses set up. So that ranges from wilderness rescue medicine to avalanche safety and rescue, all kinds of ski and snowboard skill courses as well. And then we also give people the opportunity to travel throughout Western Canada. So you're able to see not only the beautiful Banff National Park, but also take you up north to Jasper, deep into these cool rail and lumber ski towns in the deep interior of BC, and then over to the coast as well. So really just give young people an all-round awesome experience in Canada, but also give them the skills and experiences necessary to begin a meaningful career out here if they choose to do so.
Okay, cool. Sounds like well, it sounds really interesting. Is it just how many owners are there? Is it independently owned?
Yep. So there's three of us. Okay. So basically, three guys, all originally from Eastern Canada. All been skiing since we were young kids. We have varied skill sets as well. One of the partners is really good on the tech side of things. I focus more on the administrative and sales aspects of the business. Brett, who's the third partner, is really has a lot of the hard skills that makes him a great instructor and a great trainer for the guys once they're here as well. So we have a really good team, all with very complementing skills, which has been really great so far.
Okay. Now, is this you guys' full-time gig, or is this more of a part-time thing, or?
Well, because it's a seasonal business, it is more of a part-time. It is more of a part-time gig. Our season runs from mid-November until mid-April. We have a really long ski season out here. And then in the off-season, one of the partners has an aerial drone business that he runs. I work in the canoe tripping industry up north, and Brett has a mountain bike camp that he organizes out in Banff. So it is a bit of a seasonal business.
Okay. And how long have you guys been around for?
So we started the company in January 2014, and so we've been around a little bit more than a year now, and yeah.
And how is your how do you fund your business? Is it sort of personal funding? Do you have any sort of investors or?
Yeah. So our company, you could compare it to a travel agency in a sense, where we broker a lot of the programming and the skills. So it doesn't require a tremendous amount of capital funding. So we've been able to do it all out of pocket and bootstrap the thing to this point.
Okay. Now, if you could just give us a brief overview of who your customers are and how do you provide them value compared to some of your competitors?
Great question. So our customer base is primarily people between the ages of 18 and about 30, mainly from the United Kingdom. So about 70% of our clientele comes from the United Kingdom. We have people who come from Western Europe as well, so the Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden, Spain, France, Ireland, as well as New Zealand and Australia, and then a couple Americans as well. Where we offer value, basically how this company started was there were similar companies operating in Banff National Park that were basically bringing people over, young people over on their gap years, and putting them up in hostels or wherever in town, and then organizing them, some ski lessons and a couple social events, and that was pretty much it. These companies were all based out of the United Kingdom or New Zealand, so basically the whole thing was being brokered from several time zones away, and we felt that being here and living here for a few years, we could take on a similar sort of program to give people an amazing gap year experience, or people trying to jump into the industry, but provide a lot more value. And the reason that we're able to provide a lot more value is because we actually live here. We've been here for quite some time now. Know a lot of the service providers, know the area. So really how that manifests itself is we're able to take people on trips all throughout the Rockies. We're able to offer more certifications, more experiences, because it's a lot easier for us to organize that from our backyard than it would be from a competitor to organize that from, an office building in London or, somewhere in Auckland, New Zealand. So, that's really where the idea for the company came from. And it was about, we had the opportunity to offer a lot more value and make a more competitive product offering, really.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so at what stage would you say your business is in at the moment?
So we're still very early. We're in our first year, so we're working out a lot of the kinks. We're really focused on executing at this point. So just executing really well in our first year. Making sure that everybody's had a good time. We've been able to deliver on everything that we promised, and we said we were going to. So we're very much in the infancy stage at this point, but we're looking very much forward to building on the success from this year and the first few years of the company.
Okay, so at this point, this sort of stage of your company that it's in, what are some of your sort of your goals at this level?
So one of our biggest goals with what we're doing here is taking the traditional ski instructor training course that's very popular in the United Kingdom, with people going over to the Alps for the season and then people coming over to Canada and the United States, and basically taking that and adding an outdoor education component that is absent from a lot of our competitors' program. One of the things that we're most excited about is we've actually been able to work out a deal with a couple of universities where we're able to give our clients the opportunity to earn university credits while they're here. And that's been a big step. That's unique in our industry, and we're looking at building the outdoor education components. So for a young person, coming over to Canada on a season or a 3-month or a 1-month program, taking some time off of university, it's not so much about doing it to come over and party and learn a little bit of skiing. you have a blast with a whole bunch of other people your age, and then you have some meaningful skills that you walk away from our program with. So, we have a couple kids signed up for our next season who are coming from outdoor adventure colleges in the United States, where they're able to take a semester off and come and spend it with us. They're not earning as many credits as they would be normally, but they're earning a couple, and they're able to justify it from a financial perspective, given how expensive the university tuition in the States is right now. So we're very excited about expanding our outdoor education part of what we do.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. I want you to expand a bit more on how you guys plan to expand. Do you eventually want to take it maybe sort of a full-time position, maybe grow the company, add a couple more employees? Tell me some of your ideas for growing the company itself.
Absolutely. So, first things first, we want to work out the kinks of what we're doing in our backyard here in Banff itself. So Banff has 3 world-class ski resorts here. Has a very long ski season. So Sunshine Village, one of the ski resorts here, opens in November and is closing on May 19th this year. So you have a really long season, and we're really trying to work out how we can take advantage of that. Use all three of the wonderful resorts that we have here, and then in terms of an expansion plan, once we figured out the kinks, we're gonna expand to other resort towns in Western Canada. Methodically picking ones that are going to give not only a combination of an awesome town to live in, excellent accommodation, but most importantly, really great skills training, really good outdoor adventure experiences, and opportunities for outdoor education. So as we expand that, in terms of a staff perspective, we certainly will need more in terms of on the administrative side in particular, is something that we'll probably start hiring employees for in the next couple of years. So it's basically identifying areas that you can take what is going well with your company,
yeah,
and applying them to a new setting, whether that be Whistler or Revelstoke or Golden, BC, where there's amazing ski resorts, and just doing it in a methodical way so that you're still offering just as much value in those places as you would be here in Banff National Park.
Yeah, so, I really like how you put that, James. How would you so sort of transitioning into your managerial strategy, your Timberline's managerial style? How would you define, if you could sort of, how would you explain that or define that managerial strategy that you guys are using to grow your business?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you need to offer a lot of value in what you do, and you need to execute on it. You also just need to provide your clients an amazing experience so they leave at the end of the day feeling great about what they did. They met new people, they had amazing experiences, they feel like they really got value for their money and their time that they've spent with us. There are other businesses out there. There's been scandals in Australia and Canada as well of different companies basically taking advantage of people, overselling things, charging people a lot of money. And at the end of the day, from a management perspective, we believe in what we do, and we want to sleep well at night knowing that we provide a consistent and amazing product every ski season. So from a management perspective, it's pretty simple. Just execute on what you and deliver on what you say you're going to. And I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. No, that does. And you brought up another good point in your competition. Could you briefly describe what the market is like for something like this? Is there a lot of competitors? Is it fierce competition?
Yeah, there are in Banff. We have 4 competitors, ranging in size. There's some companies that have been around for quite some time, about a decade, and there's another a couple companies that have been around for a year or two. And At the end of the day, a couple of them, they offer a similar product to what we do. They focus a lot more on the ski instructing side of things. We have ski
Mhm.
instructing components of what we do, of course. We just like to incorporate a lot of our personal background in avalanche safety and wilderness medicine, and backcountry skiing and canoeing and that whole style of what it's like to be in Western Canada into our programming. A lot of the companies do a really good job. However, there's some that fall into that category of overselling and under-delivering on their product. They're blessed with very strong search engine optimizers and things like that. Are able to get a lot of clients, but at the end of the day, living here for a few years, these 18, 19-year-old guys from the UK who are here on the gap year, who've been taking a year, is saving up all this money to come on this course, and at the end of the day, they're basically getting picked up from the airport, dropped off at a hostel, and see you later kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's really disappointing because it gives the the gap year company label a really negative, is
Mhm.
associated with a lot of people in this community in a real negative way. So that's one of the biggest challenges from a local perspective, is trying to really show that what we're doing is different from our foreign competitors based out of the UK, who have operations all over the world. Our competitors in New Zealand, who again are operating at, are 6 years old and are operating at 25 different resorts around the world. In 6 years to expand to a couple dozen resorts and do it with a lot of value just doesn't make any sense to me. So the way that we're dealing with that is we incorporate a lot of volunteerism into our work. So our clients who come over on any of our programs will do at least 10 hours of community service. Not only is that good for the community, but it's also good for our clients, right? I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of these guys are 18, 19 years old, or they've just finished university. They're building their CV, so they're gaining a lot of experience here. They're getting in some cases work experience as ski instructors. They're gaining a lot of real world certifications, but they're also engaged in the community. They're showing that they're volunteering, and so we're really focused on volunteerism and environmental stewardship as well. Being in the national park, it's really important, and it's really important for us to grow with having components like that in our program.
Mhm. Okay. Now, James, we're just gonna wrap it up here with a final question here. What factors would you say would be either helping or hindering your growth, either internally within your own company and the other two guys, or externally? What are some factors that are really going to help, or they're really going to not help at all when it comes to growing your business?
Yeah, I think the thing that from past experiences of my own in business, I think one of the biggest advantages that we have for us, and I would urge this with anybody else who's starting a small business, is picking partners that have complementary skills to your own.
Mm-hmm.
So of our 3 partners, we all have, I touched on this earlier, but we all have very complementing skills that really help us to be a well-rounded company and a well-rounded philosophy on what we're doing. From an analytical standpoint, we have one partner who's very strong at that. From a sales perspective, some of the partnership is very good at that. Strategically, it really makes sense to have complementing minds and skills at the head of the table. In terms of hindrance, I mean, we are a company that is, at the end of the day, an export product. Skiing is a expensive endeavor. So there are a lot of external factors that affect what we were doing in kind of a macroeconomic way. However, the price of oil is going down, the Canadian dollar is going down, the ski industry is doing really well in Western Canada. There's a lot of big factors that can certainly affect a small business like ours. That's a risk.
All right. Well, James, that's all the questions I had. You answered them all extremely well. If there's anything else that you would like to add or you would like to say, now's the time to do it.
No, this is great. So where are you guys in? You're in Sweden right now?
Yeah. So we're living in a city about 2 hours north of Stockholm called Gävle.
Yeah.
And I'm currently studying my master's in business. It's a 1-year MBA program, and this is part of the MBA research thesis. We have to do a thesis with a partner, and we have to pick some sort of business the aspect of business that we enjoy and research about it. And both my partner and I, we want to become entrepreneurs ourselves. So we decided we really want to figure out, small businesses, other fellow entrepreneurs, how they grow their business, and how the managerial strategies that come in hand with growing that business.
Cool. Sounds neat.
So we're going to be interviewing probably about 10 to 15 other small businesses, both here in Sweden and back home, and we're going to analyze the results across the different stages of growth in the small businesses and the different managerial strategies that are implemented by business owners, and see if we can add to the current literature.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, I look forward to hearing the final product there.
Yeah, I really appreciate you, first of all, coming on and allowing me to interview, and second of all, allowing me to make a podcast episode out of it. We will be putting this up on the website at ManDateCon8.com, and I'll be tweeting and Instagramming Timberline's logo, and you have our full support. It sounds like you got a good ship going there, and we wish you all the best.
Well, thank you very much, Connor. Appreciate it, man. When you guys come back to the homeland, definitely come and visit us for a ski out here.
All right, we will indeed. Thanks very much, James.
All right, take it easy now. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.